One of my big things that I try to stay on top of is keeping my closet clean and organized. But I'll tell you what, it gets to be a monster every once in a while. Here with some help for us all is professional stylist, owner of styl-iq, Barbara Dolezal. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So what's the first tip that you would give people who just kind of walk in and go, I don't even know where to start?
Clear it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take everything out?
Well, you have to make sure you know what you have.
Right.
Okay, how often I go through a closet with a client and they say, oh my gosh, I forgot I had this.
Yeah.
Because if it's so crammed in there, so you have to get rid of things you aren't wearing and that are ill-fitting. Those are the keys to a happy and organized closet, is just knowing what you have.
Well, I know that when I had lost some weight, I had to go through and try everything on. Yes. And I had to be brutal. And stuff I loved, I had to part with because it just didn't look good anymore.
Right.
It doesn't look the same.
Didn't work for your body, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't work. And so you have to, you just have to be prepared to be brutal, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have to sometimes bring in the professionals to help you make those? Because sometimes we have a connection, we have maybe a sentimental value in
Lots
some of the
connections.
things.
It's very emotional, women and clothing. And it's very overwhelming. A lot of times, I mean, I will go in a closet from somebody who's absolutely no sense of style to somebody who's very stylish, who just needs me to validate and to give them permission to get rid of, because you just have to clear it out, because if you're jam-packed in there, you don't know what you have, you are never going to be organized, and it's never going to be a happy place to be.
And you're not going to wear half of it.
Well, we don't.
Yeah.
I mean, they say 20% of your closet you wear.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the rule on if you haven't worn it within a certain amount of time, just goes?
Well, you know, they say a year.
Yeah.
A lot of stylists will say a year. I have things that I may not wear 1 year, but see if it still fits you, and if you know the proportions and the balance and what looks good on your body. It may not be what you're wearing right now, but if you're just not wearing it because it doesn't fit or you paid a lot of money for it, then a year, get it out of there.
Cut
for
the rope.
sure.
Yeah.
Another really great thing to do for organizing that makes it really your closet a nice place to be is to get the same type of hanger throughout. Nothing will give your closet the most impact and in the look and the feel. So my favorite, I don't know if you use these, are those velvet hangers.
I was going to ask you if you recommend those.
Absolutely.
Really? So they really work?
Yes, they're great, and for several reasons. They maximize your space because they're so thin. Nothing slips off, because there's nothing more irritating when you're rehanging and rehanging, right, with a wide neckline.
Yep.
And then the last thing is that your clothes keep their shape because the hanger is the right shape. So you don't get the little shoulder nips on your shoulders. So I really love those, and I recommend the girls that I work with to get those before I come, so that when we're redoing, we can just hang up in the new, and it gives you so much more space. They're wonderful. Way more than wood or anything. I like them.
Well, wood, they're so thick, and then I have all the plastic ones from the stores, and they're so thick.
Yes.
And then of course you still get the little bumps in shoulders.
Right.
So, okay, good. So this is what I'm going to go out and get.
Go get them.
And I'm going to have all this room, because now I've got all these plastic hangers, and I'm going to have more room than so I'm going to need to go out and buy more clothes. But before I do that, Barbara, what else do I need to know?
Let's see. So when I'm organizing a closet, after we have gone through and we know what looks good and what doesn't, everything's hung up on these great hangers. I say, organize by use, okay? So classify by use, then by color.
Okay.
So I take my jackets, my wraps, my tops, pants, everything, obviously separate them. And then you can, within each of those categories, you can color code.
Okay.
So the way the reason that makes such a difference, especially for your tops, let's say you have, you put all your blacks together. So you've got your wraps, your sweaters, your shirts, it's just a mass of black. You can't see it. And when I get dressed, I build my wardrobe. I start with my camisoles here, then I put my shirt on, then I put my wrap, and then maybe I move over here for my scarf. So you build your wardrobe, and if everything is the same, again, you don't know what you have. You don't know you're looking for a black wrap necessarily, right? So if you do, separate by use and then categorize by the color.
I have to tell you, that makes so much sense, because I have spring, summer tops, fall, winter tops. But you're right, down here in fall, winter, there is a mass of black.
Right.
Probably a foot and a half of black. I don't know what's in there.
Yes, exactly.
I have to hunt.
Exactly.
I have to hunt.
And we want to make it so easy to get dressed. It takes out a ton of confusion when you're getting ready in the morning. And if you think about building your wardrobe by piece, then it just makes sense to have those things separated.
Yeah, and it goes back to what you were saying about layers. you know, with the fine fabrics
Yes.
and building the layers and really
Yes.
building a statement. So
Yes.
we just hit tip of the iceberg here as far as what Barbara can talk about. Styl-iq.com is her website where you can find more. So it was great to see you. Happy
Thanks.
New Year.
Glad to be back.
Thank you.
Same to you.
We'll be right back.